Hello and welcome back. This is Joanna the Medium. These are going to be readings for the month of December 2016, general readings, and they will apply to your sun, moon, and rising signs. I do have a bit of an announcement at the end of this intro, so if you want to fast forward, go ahead, but it is at the end of the intro, so don't miss it. December is a month of a lot of culminations. And though December is the last month of the year, so culminations and looking back is typically what we do. But there seems to be a lot of energies with most of the readings I've done for December 2016, where there seems to be a lot of looking back, a lot of contemplating, a lot of determining what to leave behind and what to take forward to the new year 2017. Of course, as always, I am so grateful for all of you, for liking, for sharing, for subscribing, and for commenting. I read every single one of your comments. What I would suggest, if you would like to have a private session, please do not leave me a message on YouTube or comment on YouTube as to how to book a session or to book it, because I don't get to those messages in time, and oftentimes I will stumble upon a message from someone who wants to book, but weeks have passed by and I didn't even notice the message there. So if you would like a private session, that information is down below for you, and it's also on my website, which is fairly easy to do, very easy to do, and I'm including all that information for you down below. I'm just trying to see if there's anything else, and yes, so in January, aside from my regular general readings, I will be recording additional readings for purchase for minimal amount through Vimeo. It's something that I have been prompted to do for quite some time, but I've been sitting on it, and it's now time with New Year. I'm being pushed really to do this. These will be either readings for the first 3 months of 2017 or for the first 6 months of 2017. So if I don't post them at the beginning of January together with my general readings, they will be posted slightly later. I may just not have enough time to record all of them to be posted at the same time, but they should be posted towards the middle of January at the latest. And I will post an additional video just to let you know that these are posted, and I will post all those links below as well for easy reach for you. And I think that's all I have. Of course, this is a Christmas season, holiday season. I wish you all the best. Happy holidays. Merry Christmas for those of you who celebrate Christmas. Hanukkah, whatever it is that you celebrate or not. I wish you safe and happy Christmas. And I look forward to seeing you in January. And without further ado, let's go to the readings. See you in a moment. Welcome back. This is going to be a reading for the sign of Leo, moon sign, rising sign, and sun sign. I have 3 cards face down as usual, and I will start off with the message first, and we will see what we have. The very first thing I see is the number 7. I'm also seeing a gentleman charging on a horse, which is a representation for me, or a symbol that says, charge forward fearlessly. You are moving away from something that was dark. And what I mean dark, I mean something that was or is uncomfortable. This seems to be a situation that has plagued you for quite some time and that had you stuck for quite a while, not only mentally, but also emotionally, not so much physically. This seems to be connected to a job or a career, and for some of you, this is going to be regarding a relationship, but it is a substantial relationship. Whether it is a relationship with someone at work, a boss, family member, or a loved one, there seems to be a movement forward from something that no longer has purpose in your life, or another way, something that no longer serves you. I also see the word test. Whatever this is that you have been going through, and this seems to be the period of about two months or 2 weeks, I don't feel it's 2 years, though maybe for very, very few. It could be 2 years, but for the most part, it is 2 months or 2 weeks. This seems to be a situation that you have been in for the last 5 years. Now, what I mean by this is, if this is a relationship, maybe you have been in it for the last 5 years, but in the last 2 months, it has been difficult or trying. It can also signify that for some of you, if it's to do with a job or career, you have been in this position or in this job or in this circumstance for 5 years or something with the number 5. And for the last 2 weeks or 2 months, it has been very trying. You have been pulling away, or you're pulling away from something that you had yourself invested in. You had a vested interest in it. And I'm being shown two different circumstances. One is connected to money, one is connected to love. Let's talk about the one with money first. And this seems to be a career-oriented scenario or situation. Something that you have been trying for so very hard seemed to either blow up in your face, metaphorically speaking, or it did not, or your efforts turned out to be futile. Now, the word futile is being termed as short term. In other words, if you have been working on something and you have been putting a lot of effort into it, work-wise or relationship-wise, and your efforts seemed to be futile, whatever the futile component is, it seems to be short-lived, because now in the month of December and part of January, you will be moving on to something better, and then the words are greener pastures. For some of you, this will be looking for new employment. For some of you, this will be changing how you view your employment or how you are in the place of your employment. For some of you, this is going to signify leaving a certain situation that is unhealthy for you or has proven to be futile again. And this will either be a physical movement away, or the way you approach this relationship will change substantially. I also hear that you are where you are because you needed to recognize your own strength. And here is the word test that was said to me at the very beginning. Now, I believe in my entire YouTube career, which is a year long, I don't think I ever came with a message that said something was a test. So this is an interesting word that's being used, and it's also very telling. Now, I don't necessarily like the term test because, well, testing is not comfortable, but it's being said to you for the purpose of understanding why you are or why you found yourself in this situation. The situations that you have endured has tested your strength severely. And this is mental test or mental strength, emotional as well, but a lot of it is mental. I am being shown that you are slowly moving away from that mental agility, that mental, I want to say the word discombobulation. I don't even know if that word exists. Discombobulate, you understand what that means. You are slowly moving away from that. And December 15th or somewhere around the middle of December, it seems to be a time of greater ease, as in you will feel more at ease with your current situation. The message is, do not be afraid of changes, for changes are part of life. Changes signify growth. The more we resist changes, the more we resist growth. Growth is often uncomfortable. Not always, but often. It is when it's uncomfortable that we tend to grow the most. And again, this situation is being shown that whatever it is you guys are dealing with, it has tested you to the bone. And again, he's pointing to your head, saying mentally this is what was happening. And then I hear fret not. I love how my guy talks to me. He uses words I don't use. That's when I know it's not my head. Fret not, for the future is brighter than you think. And what he's saying to me is that you're scratching your head, as in, what's next? What's next? What's going to happen next? What does my future look like? And he's showing me that you are looking with limited vision, as in, the way it's being shown to me, I feel like I'm surrounded by walls, and those walls are quite high, and the only parameter you have to look at is within those walls. And he's saying that for some reason, you're not allowing yourself to look beyond those walls. And then he says, expand your vision, expand your horizons. Take your glasses off. You need fresh new glasses. The future is brighter than what you think. And then he says, what you think doesn't matter. I'm going to go back and ask him to explore that particular phrase. What he's saying to me is that there seems to be a conflict between what you think and what you feel. It almost feels like your head is pulling you one way, and your heart is pulling you in another way. And there seems to be, that's an uncomfortable position to be in. And oftentimes our head will be different than what our feelings are. And oftentimes we tend to not go with our feelings or intuition because our head tells us not to, because we need to be safe and secure. And what he's saying to me is that you're about to come full circle, meaning some of the decisions or ideas you had about yourself will begin to slowly drop away or fall away, almost as if a certain part of your identity is going to be pulled away from you, uprooted, signifying it no longer serves you. And you are going to see this as expansion of your mind, predominantly expansion of the way you think pertaining to what you might want as opposed to what you thought you had. Expand your vision and expand your horizons, for the future is brighter than you think. And then these walls that I was talking about earlier seem to be going down. So I still have them around me, but I can see beyond them. And I also hear your parameters need to change. The change is being talked about as change of, not only change of perception, but also it's very much a feeling of you've only allowed yourself to think this, but you're being asked to think this of yourself and of your capabilities. That doesn't signify necessarily that you don't think much of yourself, though it may, but it does signify that you think less than what is actually real or what the potential is within you. And then he's showing me a metaphor, which is very interesting. He says to me, flowers don't bloom without the sun. And I'm going, well, what does that got to do with anything? And he says, your ability to dream and your ability to expand with ideas and imagination is like sun to the flower. The more you allow yourself to imagine, the more you expand, the more you flourish. And then he shows me again the number 7 and charging forward. This charging forward is signified to me as a gentleman charging on a horse, and he's charging forward fearlessly. As he definitely has a mission, and horse to me represents in this instance intuition. So in a roundabout way, you're being asked to use your intuition more so maybe than your logic, which seems to be severely limited. And he's saying that whatever this is for you, logically you bind yourself, you keep yourself stuck, and because you feel this is the safety zone. That's the safety zone. And he says safety has nothing to do with why you put yourself in this box. You are afraid to see what's there. And that's really interesting. Well, we're always timid of what we don't know, and we're afraid to expand. We like to keep safe. So that's really interesting. Now I'm going to end with this because I'm already at 12 minutes, and let's go with the cards. The first card signifies, it'll be interesting to see if there is a number 7 in here. First card signifies situations that have contributed to your situation now. So past. We have the card called patience. He's asking me to add the number. 1 and 4 is 5. Changes. Okay. And interesting because this person is holding a plant that's starting to grow. And here's the flower. And you see the flower is turned towards light, which is interesting because the metaphor that he gave me with the sun and the flower, it's pretty much right there. And what this signifies as far as past circumstances is that you have been very patient. You have been very patient, and you have been slowly toiling, working towards your desired destination. But for whatever reason, the patience has been wearing off. It's been too long. It's been too long without concrete evidence of your work. The next card is your current situation. And we have the card called Patience and Planning. Here's a 7. Look at that. So the 7 is going to be significant to you guys. For some, when that shows up in what I see and also in the cards, there is definitely significance in the number 7 for you for some reason. But so this is called patience and planning. Self-explanatory. This is to do with monetary, physical, earth aspect of who we are. Pentacles in a traditional tarot deck, but it is shown to me in reverse. And what I hear is moving forward. It almost feels like the patience is now starting to pay off, or it will slowly start paying off as we approach December, and particularly about the middle of December. For some of you, it's going to be towards the end and January, but for majority of you, it's going to be middle of December. There is a movement. And then I hear solid movement. So things are going to start to move forward in some way. Now, the next card, the last card, is the card I'm hearing of advice. Also, I just heard pay attention to your dreams. For some of you, for those of you who do dream, and for those of you who do remember your dream, I'm being asked to say that your dreams are indicative of not only how you feel, but also what it is that you desire. So I'm going to leave that with you for you to contemplate. This is the card that I was seeing. I kid you not. This is the card that I was seeing in my mind. And it's another 7. So the fact that it's showing up in a reading, and it is a card that I saw in my mind, and the number 7, here's the horse, that's significant. So this here, advice. We're using this as an advice card. Triumph, okay? But it's in reverse. And what is being said here as advice? Do not settle for less than what you feel you deserve. But it's more than just deserving, than what you feel you are capable of. Let me just sit on this for a second. What's being said is that whatever the movement will be, you may feel that it is not a triumphant movement. You may feel that it actually is not what you're looking for. You may feel that the movement is happening not in a direction that you desire. What you're being asked to do is this: stop and think about where you are and ask yourself, where do I want to be? And he says, for most of you who this applies, and again, this could be work or relationship. For those of you who will ask yourself the question, he says many of you, if not most of you, do not know where you want to be. Therefore, if you don't know where you want to be, how will you know when you get there? And then he says the word again, imagine. Imagine yourself to be the way you want to be. Pay attention what it looks like. Pay attention to what it feels like. For that is the vehicle to your transformation and to your manifestation. Again, he's showing me the flower and the sun. Sun to the flower is like imagination to you. It gives life. It gives it life. When you dream, you anticipate. Dreaming in this instance is dreaming as in daydreaming or imagining. When you imagine, you give it legs. When you imagine, you propel the energy forward. Whether you imagine a good thing or a bad thing or a positive thing or a negative thing, your imagination will often be fueled by a corresponding emotion. Pay attention to your emotions and pay attention to your feelings and your imagination, or what you think. Thoughts are imaginations, or thoughts produce more imaginations, or imaginations are produced through thoughts. You get the picture. Basically what this is about is you're coming to an end of a cycle. And for some of you, it's career. For some of you, it's a relationship. This cycle coming to an end seems to be very much connected to you needing, or you being ready, at least subconsciously, or your soul, your spirit is ready to step up the game, to move further, to move higher, to go higher, to step up. Your soul is ready for growth. And what is being said here is that you have been stagnating, you have been comfortable, you have been clinging to what you have, even though it is not giving you what you want. And then he says, why is it so? What is it that's preventing you from imagining what you want? And then he says, it's safety. You feel safe. And then he says, safety is a frame of mind. And though I absolutely understand that comment, there's also this human part of me that goes, what? Like, if we don't have many things, we feel unsafe. And there is truth to that too. But when he says that safety is a frame of mind, there is a lot of truth to that. If we cling to fears, we will have a tendency to feel fearful. If we cling to positive aspects, we will have a tendency to be less fearful. So it is definitely a scale from one to another, and there's different what's the word? I lost the word. Different scales of feeling one way or the other. I'm trying to find the word and I can't. And again, the message is allow yourself to dream. I am seeing the number 9. 9 in this case is endings, unless September somehow stands out to you, or the number 9, which could be. But in this case, it signifies endings. And like I said in my intro, December seems to be a month of endings for many, many, many people, and most of the signs that I have done a reading for December. These are not bad endings. These are just parts of your life that are slowly starting to fall away because your soul is ready for the next phase, the next growth. Endings are not always comfortable, just like growth is not always comfortable. Endings, for the most part, signify growth, because certain doors close and they have to close in order for certain doors to open. We have to make room for the new to come, so we have to get rid of the old so the new can come in. When you have a cup filled with water and you keep pouring water, the water will eventually overfill. You have to drain one end so that another can come in. In other words, you're making space for something new, and the transition time may not be the most comfortable, but I'm being told, be assured or rest assured that the best is yet to come. And then I'm seeing the number 55. I have no idea what that means. Maybe you are 55. Obviously, that's not all of you. Certainly not all of you, or not even majority of you. But for whatever, the 55 seems to be important. Perhaps you see a lot of fives. 5 is number of endings, or 5 is changes. So this could signify changes, but with endings come changes, obviously. But the number 55 was shown to me. So I'm just going to leave that to you and see if there is a significance there. And I think that's all I have. Again, he says, don't be afraid to move forward. And I'm rooting for you, because 2017 seems to be a much brighter year for you and for many of us. I hope this made sense. Of course, this is not going to make sense for many of you at the beginning of the month. It typically doesn't. So listen to it towards the latter part of the month or the end of the month. And if it inspires you to comment how this affects you or how this resonates with you, I would love to read it. Until January, I wish you a wonderful month of December, safe and happy holiday. Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Holidays, whatever you celebrate or don't celebrate. Stay safe, stay true to yourself. And thank you so much again for watching. And I look forward to seeing you again in January with regular readings and also with 3 or 6 month forecast a little bit later in the month. Thank you so much and see you soon. Bye.